Good morning, beloveds. My hair is all floofy. That's an actual term, floof. Um, it's a term that we use in a group that I'm in about cats, for long-haired cats. Floof. Um, but that's, so, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. Probably the fact that took a, uh, took a, I washed my hair yesterday morning and then promptly took a nap on it. I took a nap on it wet. And, sleeping on wet hair does weird things to your hair. Um, so it was like, get up, go to the park, come home, do this, then I took a shower, took a nap. And then a friend of mine who didn't see the original, when we went to see Jungle Cruise, she wasn't available. Maybe she wasn't feeling well, so she decided not to come see it, and then she was disappointed she missed it. And I was like, dude, that movie was so good, I will go see it again. And she was like, so we were trying to figure out a time. She's like, no, I have to work. And she says, well, I don't have to work. Do you want to go see the movie? And I'm like, heck yes. So we went to see, I went to see Jungle Cruise again with two of us. Of the three of us that went to see the movie had already seen the movie again. So that should tell you how good the movie was. We enjoyed it. And the fantastic thing about seeing a movie, when you really enjoy a movie the first time, so the second time you go see the movie, you know the story, so then you get to watch for all the little clues, and you get to see all the little things that you didn't see the first time. So that was really fantastic and fun, and I really enjoyed that. And it's one of the reasons why I like watching. It's why I like reading books again, and why I like watching movies again. It's like the first time you're just trying to take it all in, and then the second time is when you get to pull into the details, which is kind of what I do here. So it's like I read through it the first time, and then the second time I go through it, I'm digging into the details. So, and all of that to make a point. No, I just wanted to let you know Jungle Cruise was so good I would see it twice. I know it's a kids movie. I don't care. It was good. All right. It is August 8th. The title is My Faith in God is Great. The Bible quote is, from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God. And that is Psalm 92. The mind which conceived me is with me. The power which has brought me this far attends me all the way. God is where I am, and God fills my environment. All power is in action through me, and I accomplish my good works with ease. I am certain of these truths as I am of life itself. There is no doubt or question in my mind. I know a perfect God, a complete mind, a definite law. I do not go to it, for I am already in it. I do not seek it, for I already have that God. For I already have all that God is and can ever be. Having accepted this full understanding of truth, I now live in such a way that I prove my faith. I dedicate my thought to true and positive ideas. I dedicate my feelings to divine love and divine understanding. I let my human ego become as nothing, for I desire that today only the Christ ideas govern my life. I rise steadfastly out of all pettiness in human relationships. I live as a spiritual being, and I acknowledge all with whom I live, play, and work as sons of God. I face the future with joy, for I see idea after idea unfolding in perfect order. The future will be good, and I now have health, peace of mind, and security. My universe is alive with good, and I have dismissed evil forevermore. I know that I am upheld and maintained by God and by God alone. I know that my thought demonstrates instantly the desire of my heart. I have faith in all that is good and true. I have faith in a protecting presence and an indwelling power. Today I rejoice and am glad. All right. I hear my voice is a little raw today, so forgive me if I clear it. When I first started reading this, one of the things that struck me is somewhere in my education, someone made the argument that the founding fathers were deists. Okay, what does that mean? That they believed that God set the world in motion and then turned his back on the turned his back on the world, and had nothing more to do. It is like a clockwork. It's like, okay, we've set the world in motion, and now we're not going to do anything about it. We're going to go off over here and continue to work on this, and we're going to work on other projects. We're not going to pay attention to what's going on here. And that's why the separation of church and state is codified in our government, because they didn't believe that God had anything to do with our government. Well, and to be fair, I do believe in the separation of church and state. There are too many times that there are too many people out there claiming to speak for God and doing it very selfishly. And so, yeah. But it was just the idea that God would set the world in motion and then have nothing to do with it just never sat well with me. I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. But frankly, a lot of the things that people do and say don't make sense to me. And it is what it is. So what I'm and this passage that they wrote is kind of the opposite of that. And the way we think about God is different than that too, because we would tell you that God is all there is, that everything is made out of a single source of God. So God could no more leave its creation than we could leave like our hand behind. Because it's made from God. Therefore, God is still a part of the equation. All right. Yeah. It's just one of those, wait, what? My faith in God is great. And from the Bible quote, from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God. And that's, like I said, Psalm 90, line 2. The mind which conceived me is with me. The power which has brought me this far attends me all the way. The power which has brought me this far. And I think that's the line that made me think of the deists. And I'm like, the power that has made me has brought, the power that has brought me this far attends me all the way. Because God can't leave. The sum total of that statement is God cannot leave, because we are made from God, by God, for God. God expresses through us. The animating spirit within us, that soul that we carry, is God's. We have individualized it, but it's not ours. It's not ours. It's still God. So God can't leave us, because the part of us that makes us us is God. So the power that has brought us this far attends us all the way, because we're made from it. We are not clockworks that were set in motion and then left to wind down. Heaven is where I am, and love fills my environment. And that's up to us to recognize it. All power in action through, all power is in action through me. All power is in action through me. And that's why we say God can do for us what God can do through us. All power is in action through me, and I accomplish my good works with ease. It's how much power I allow to flow through me. That's up to me. Because I did say we have individualized that piece of the soul that we have. I am certain of these truths as I am of life itself. And that, I am certain of these truths as I am of life itself. That is the feeling that we want in spiritual practice. Do we have to walk around 100% of the time with that feeling? No. Would it be nice? Yes, it would be. But we don't have to white knuckle it. We don't have to hold it all the time. If we can. And the more we practice, the more we will hold it. But that is the attitude that you want to enter your spiritual practice, where you do your treatments. That's the attitude you want. I am certain of these truths as I am of life itself. That the power which has brought me this far attends me all the way, that heaven is where I am and love fills my environment, and that all of the power is in action through me. And those are the truths that I want to enter in to my spiritual practice with. There is no doubt or question in my mind. I know a perfect God. Remember, perfect means complete. And he says it in the very next, after the comma. I know a perfect God, a complete mind, and a definite law. This is the attitude of spiritual practice. I do not go for it, for I am already in it. I do not seek it, for I already have all that God is and can ever be. And that's the kind of the crux there. You can look all around you and see God. But the only place to find God is right here. All right? The big long journeys to find yourself, to know who you are, but until you turn within, you will never truly find God. God is all around you. There are examples of God. But if you want the whole truth about God, this is where you go. Nobody can tell you who God is. You have to go within and experience God yourself. And that is, because he was talking about, I am determined to know truth, and that's where I was talking about it yesterday. When you drop that article of thee, it's like anybody can tell you the truth. But if you want to know truth, you have to go within. And you have to take all of those attitudes within in your spiritual practice. Having accepted this full understanding of truth, again, there's no thee. Having accepted this full understanding of truth, I now live in such a way that I prove my faith. What does that look like? Everybody has a different idea. Everybody has a different idea. But it does come with trust. And faith is imagination plus trust. Okay? I trust that God will be able to do all of these things that I can imagine. So I walk as if. I walk as if. I speak as if. I know that my word will not be returned unto me void. I dedicate my thought to true and positive ideas. It's like if I'm in alignment with God, then what I speak will come. I let my human ego become a no thing, for I desire that only the Christ ideas govern my life. The ego has a place, and the ego's place is to preserve your life. But sometimes the ego gets a little frantic and can run you in circles that are not necessary. So in those, that's where we let the Christ govern. We let the Christ govern. The ego can sit in the passenger seat and can occasionally give advice. But we should let the Christ consciousness, which is the consciousness of love, drive. I rise steadfastly out of all pettiness in human relationships. That's letting the Christ consciousness drive. That is definitely not letting ego drive. I live as a spiritual being, and I acknowledge all with whom I live, play, and work as children of God. That's one of those things that I frequently will say. We are beloved children of God. And if we can recognize each other and treat each other as beloved children of God, the world will be a better place. I face the future with joy, for I see idea after idea unfolding in perfect order. The future will be good, and I now have health, peace of mind, and security. When we start treating every single living thing as a beloved child of God, the world will be amazing. And all we can do is start right here, right now, right where we are. My universe is alive with good, and I have dismissed evil forever. I know that I am upheld and maintained by God. We all are. And by God alone, because God is the source. All of the things, like when we go to doctors and doctors treat the material body, that is God in action. And that is one of the things that makes us different than one of our ancestors, a similar faith of who believes in God by God alone as well, because we recognize God in action in each other. So we say, if your material body needs support, then go to the doctor and take the medication and take the treatments, because that is God in action. And yes, your spiritual practice is extremely important, and you will absolutely do that too. And when we do spiritual practice, we pray for those doctors and those nurses and the physical therapists and whatever else that, you're using. But we also remind you that the core part of you, the soul part of you, that can't be broken and never needs to be fixed. That's where the truth needs to be realized. I know that my thought demonstrates instantly the desires of my heart. I have faith in all that is good and true. I have faith in a protecting presence and an indwelling power. Today I rejoice and am glad. All right. Our mission today, should we choose to accept it? Oh, I don't know. Oh. Okay. I'm going to go back to, because I like that line. Our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to recognize the power that has brought us this far attends us all the way. All right? Because I think that's a good reminder. The power that made us has brought us this far attends us all the way. We need to be reminded that at no time are we ever alone. That God is always with us, that God is always around us, that God is always doing for us what God can do through us. It's that reminder that the only limits on God are the ones we ourselves place. And it's about the willingness to lift those barriers and lift those limits and live that unlimited life that God wants us to have. That unlimited creativity, that unlimited joy, that unlimited peace, that unlimited happiness. I know I said creativity. I'm a big believer in creativity. All right, beloveds. Yeah, that's the mission today. To recognize that the power that created us and has attended us this far will go all the way with us. It can't leave us because we're made from it and we are channels of it. We are divine distributors of it. We have individualized our piece of it. All right, beloveds, moving on into the day, because we will have an amazing service for you at 11, which means I need to go eat breakfast. And you get to do what you need to do to get your day going. But as I remind you, I'm a big believer in engaging the mind and the body, but Sunday is my day of physical rest. I still get up and go and do, but I don't exercise today. You gotta let the body rest. You gotta let the body rest. And Sunday is my day to do that. I let it sleep in a little bit. I take naps and I let it rest. But I do get that a little bit of sun. You can see it streaming in through the window here. And I will drink plenty of water, which may be one of the reasons why my voice is a little rough today. I need more water. And I will remind you, you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. Always and forever. So please, if today is your day of rest, and that is loving, kind, and compassionate, please do something loving for yourself. Please do something kind for yourself. Please do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like. I did a lot yesterday. I did. I went to the park. I ran 3 miles. I went, I took a nap. I went to see a movie. I hung out with my friends. And we watched the Olympics and the Olympic highlights together. And it was good. And that is a very loving, kind, and compassionate thing that you can do for yourself. Go hang out with your friends for a little bit. All right, beloveds. In all that is going on, please open the windows of your soul and allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven now. You are a beloved child of God, and that power that has made you, that has carried you this far, will carry you the rest of the way. It will carry you always. Always. So, we will have a service for you on Facebook Live here at 11, because it is Sunday. And then Reverend David will be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. And if you don't catch us on Facebook Live, you can always catch me on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. And you can catch the service and all of our past services since we created the channel on the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, Google the 2 names, you'll find us. And if you want to know when we upload new content, then subscribe to the channel. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. As it's Sunday, you get to see me twice. All right, beloveds, know that you're loved.